It's time now for the Todd Bowles Report, brought to you by Advanced Radiation Centers of New York. Coach, again, there will be no surprises, but there is a victory to talk about, so that's a good thing, right?
That's a good thing.
How was the trip overall? Obviously, it's made better by the win.
Overall, it was pretty good. You know, it was a good trip. The guys were very disciplined. They got their rest, and everything was on time, and we had no problems.
Now, we joked about the 350 rolls of toilet paper, and did you feel more comfortable than maybe anybody could have expected because of doing the reconnaissance and bringing everything with you to make you feel comfortable? At the end of the day, is that really what helped you get off to the good start?
No, we talked about not having any excuses, whether it was lack of sleep or too much sleep, whether it was toilet tissue, whether it was the flight, whether it was anything or accommodation-wise. We went out there to play a football game, and we talked about the field being the same, the grass is 100 yards, and us coming out trying to be aggressive from the start and not starting slow, and I think that helped out the mindset, and we kept preaching that every day. So once we got out there, we just took off and ran.
Speaking of running, it is so very clear, Todd, that Ivory means so much to this team. I mean, the whole dynamic changes. He's a beast back there, and it gives such a different look to your offense. How much did he mean to be back there?
No, he meant a ton yesterday. I mean, he's tough. I mean, they played well up front, but he was breaking some tackles and he was punishing guys, and that's good to see from our offense. It made it physical. It made us more demanding. It left Decker and Marshall open a little more, and it got us some plays.
That said, you stayed aggressive. 58-yard pass right out of the box, and you were throwing the ball after they cut the deficit to 2 possessions. So even though he was running well, you still stayed aggressive. How come?
We wanted to be balanced, and we wanted to be aggressive. We don't ever want to just be a running team because everybody's going to start stacking the box. So we wanted some big plays down the field. We wanted to get the ball to our wide receivers, but at the same time, we wanted them to pick their poison, and we were going to take what they gave us. If they gave us some passes, we were going to throw them. If they gave us some runs, we were going to take them.
How much does Decker mean to Marshall, opening things up for him?
That means a lot to him because you got the experience over there, and you got a good football player there, taking nothing away from Devin and Curley. Decker has a resume, and he's done it over and over again and time again. So to have him over there, he's savvy, he's smart, he's a good route runner, he's got great hands. It opens it up a little bit.
All right, one of the negatives, 14 penalties for 163 yards. What do you do about cutting down those mistakes?
We're going to harp on them. You can harp on them and show them film, and we're definitely going to look at them, especially tomorrow when the players come back in. And we understand going into the second quarter of the season, we can't have those things, and we're not going to win those type of ball games. But it's the first time it's kind of creeped up on us this year. We've been okay the first 3 games, but we can't have those penalties.
Was there a letdown in the second half? You played so great in the first half, Coach. Second half, not as well. Does that concern you at all?
No, it was the penalties that was holding us back, whether it was offensive holding or defensive pass interference. They were negating drives, and, they were getting good field position, and they returned a few punts that gave them some good field position. But we got to cut down on the penalties. I think the penalties negated a lot of drives, and it kept some of their drives alive.
And what you did see is you found out you had some depth. I thought Deion Bailey, played well. Marcus Williamson's been great all year. Did you know you had the depth in the secondary that you've seen so far in the first month?
I did at the corners, but with Jaquan banged up and Deion Bailey coming in, putting him on the spot, only having been here less than a week, I thought he did a heck of a job. The kid was always a tough player, coming in from Seattle. He was tough in college. He was a very good tackler and he's a very aggressive guy, and I think the scheme will suit him well.
A lot of coaches split the season into quarters, and if you do that, Coach, you're 3-1. I mean, I would think you'd have to be really, really pleased. Obviously, you'd like to have won the Eagle game, but 3-1 translates to 12-4 if you play like this every quarter.
Yeah, it does, but you can only take it quarter by quarter. So
right.
The first quarter we're 3-1, but we look at a game as 4 quarters. So we're not going to be happy just being 3-1. We know we got a lot of work ahead of us, and we know we got to cut out a lot of penalties and get back to fundamentals, and for us to go any further.